right, good afternoon, and welcome to today's live webcast where we'll be covering the Winnebago Touring Coach Era. We've got the 70C along with the 70X that's here in our showroom today, where we're literally just 1 mile away from the Winnebago, Itasca, and Winnebago Touring Coach Factory. During our webcast today, what really makes these the best is truly making them interactive for you. So as you can see on your initial screen, what you'll want to do is just go ahead and, as the webcast continues, chat in any questions that you have here in the lower right-hand question bar, and we'll go ahead and answer those questions for you live. Again, just another reminder that we can do this same type of walkthrough on any one of our in-stock coaches for you. So if there's anything else that you'd like to see in more detail, just be sure to let us know. You can email in to sales@lichtsinn.com or give us a call, and we'd be happy to do a live walkthrough with you on any of our coaches that we have here in stock today. So today, who we have with us, I'm of course Casey. I'm the sales manager here at the dealership. Behind the camera we have Josh Dam, our marketing director, and then we also have Jason Brookoff, one of our senior sales consultants here with us today. So we'll kind of walk you through the era. Be sure to follow along, chat in any questions as we go, but we'll just go ahead and dive right in. So right now we're standing outside of the 70C. As you can see, we do have the awning extended on it. It's a 13-foot powered awning. It does have the LED lights along the awning rail as well. So you get some nice lighting that way, really nice large patio size. We've also got a few little accessories sprinkled out that are set out today. Good ideas with Christmas right around the corner. So I think what we'll do first is just do a quick walk around of the exterior. You're all very familiar, of course, with the Mercedes Sprinter chassis. It's what we have been using on the Era for several years now, as well as the new Navion, and then of course also in the Vion Rayo in the Class A body as well. So this is the 3-liter Mercedes-Benz. It has 188 horsepower that's paired with 325 pound-feet of torque. So it's a 5-speed transmission, and you also get the tip shift options with that as well, so you can manually control that transmission if you choose to. Help with things like fuel economy and all those wonderful things. So you get nice turn signals in the mirrors. These also do fold away for when you're storing your RV, if you want to get yourself even more narrow than what you already are. Of course, the mirrors are also powered. That's all controlled from the driver's seat. Coming around the front end, of course, you'll notice the nice Mercedes front end grille. You've also got a nice convenient step up here for essentially more convenience for when you're washing the windshield. Anytime that you need to access anything that's higher up, you've got a nice sturdy step that's right at the front of your coach. This last year, with the 2014 chassis, we also received a revision. So you've got the new headlight design as well as the new grille design that came out here in this last model year. So one of the very unique items of the all-new 70C floor plan is this is the first rollout of a slide room in the Sprinter chassis. And some of you may have already seen some of Winnebago's releases. Winnebago is the #1 producer of motorhomes on the Sprinter chassis. So this is one of them, and basically just kind of expanding that line and now offering something where you get some additional space. So essentially when Winnebago receives the body of this Class B at the factory, it has 2 sliding doors. So the entry door that you saw on the other side, initially from Mercedes, it comes with one of those sliding doors over here as well. And so then essentially what Winnebago does is they take that sliding door out and they add a slide room in its place. So you get a nice electric slide room that'll give you even more interior room that allows for some unique items like a dry bathroom, a nice large-sized sleeping space. And of course, Winnebago never cuts on quality, so you also still have the slide room cover here on this slide, just as you would on any other coach that they produce. So that way, essentially, you don't have to worry about any of the debris that you might have at a campground, say, acorns, twigs, leaves, those type of things that could potentially fall on the top of your slide room. You don't have to worry about crawling up onto your roof to sweep those out, because that slide room cover will do it for you. As you can see from Mercedes, the coach does come with the nice large windows that go the entire length of the coach, so you get some nice Nice light in on the interior. You also get the nice jalousie style tip out windows that are here on the slide room door, or the slide room, excuse me, it's not a door anymore. So these will tip out so that way if you are out using your RV and you have some nominal rain, you're still able to get some fresh air ventilated throughout your coach. Otherwise, let me just go ahead. This is your access for your outside shower. So you still get all of the nice amenities that you'd get in a larger coach, except in your small packed Class B, you still get all those nice features. So that's your outside shower port. Coming around here, of course, you have your 30 amp power cord. We do the stainless steel wheel liners. Just below the power cord, of course, you've got your exhaust for your generator, and then also of course your dumping facilities that are right there as well, all conveniently located in one location. So you've got your poles there for your black tank as well as your gray tank.
We got two questions. The first one is, why is the 70C higher priced than the others? And the second one, are those rear tires duals? Okay,
so great questions. In terms of price point, the 70C is at a higher price point than the 70A and the 70X that Winnebago has been running with for a couple years now. And essentially there's a few things that all contribute to that. Of course, there's a lot more engineering that's involved in it when you're removing a second door to put in a slide room. That's really going to be your primary source of that increased price point. And then of course you have some other things just in terms of the design and the fact that you do have the Aldi hydronic heating, which we'll go through here in a moment, full bathroom, just some larger amenities because you have more space that all comes with that. But the primary contributor to that is the fact that you have a slide room. Really just generally speaking, anytime you add slide rooms, you generally add cost. So same type of thing in the View Navion line. The most expensive View Navion that's out there is the 24G, and that's because that one has 2 slide rooms versus just one like the other floor plans. And tires. The rear tires are duals. There was only 1 year of a single rear axle for Winnebago, and that was in 2009. That was just the year of the 70X. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So ever since then, it's been duals in the rear, which essentially gets you better handling, more cargo carrying capacity, all of those types of things that you definitely need with this type of an RV.
And that would be on the 3500 series chassis.
Right.
Some other manufacturers might use a 2500
yep.
series chassis, which would just have the single wheels in the back.
Some more great items here as we take a look at the rear. Of course, you've got the rear camera that you can see right at the top of the coach. Of course, these doors, we'll go ahead and open that up so that you can check it out. So essentially you have access here. This is actually the rear shower that we're looking at, this large white door. And so the great thing is that you can access that from the interior. Obviously, if you're in the shower, you can open up to access this. But from here, you can actually access the inside of the coach as well. So that way, if you do want to double your shower space as interior-exterior type of storage, you can easily do that. So if there's larger items that you're taking with, you can set 2 sets of golf clubs here. However, if you want to have those inside instead, or if you have even more coming with you, you have the space to be able to easily do that. Jason actually just folded away for us the spare tire. So essentially, very, very simple process. It's simply just pulling of a pin. And then you're able to completely swing that away. So it's not quite as cumbersome as some others are folding down instead. And so then you've still got that tire that's in your way. Whereas with this, you can completely swing it out and get that out of your way so that you can access the rest of your storage. So then over here, a few other features that Winnebago has just kind of working our way down. They add the Rubbermaid Fast Track, which is essentially quick tracks that will allow you, there's all kinds of different attachments you can purchase for the Rubbermaid Fast Track, whether it's hooks to hang items from, baskets, that type of thing, and they all essentially just attach right to this. Again, just kind of working on that organization, storage, trying to make the most of every space possible. Winnebago also gives you, of course, the additional lights that you have just above, 12 volt outlet, as well as, of course, your 110. We're going to cover this area over here in a moment. But otherwise, in terms of the hitch and everything down here, you've got the 7-way Bargeman electric pin, so that if you are towing, you're ready for that. And then, of course, the 5,000-pound hitch as well. This area over here is actually the cover for your Aldi hydronic heating system. So this is a new system for Winnebago with the 70C. Somewhat similar to, if you're familiar with our Class A diesel coaches that have aqua hot. It's that same type of concept, essentially. So I know Jason's got a lot of the details on that, so I'm just going to let him run through some of the details on that Aldi hydronic system.
Okay. Before we do that, we had a question come in as far as the cargo carrying capacity for the 70C, and this specific model is 1,522 pounds.
Yep. So that'll vary slightly just based on the exact type of option content that you choose, but it'll be give or take right in that 1,500-pound range that Jason mentioned.
And then the Aldi hydronic heating, it's the hot water system that provides comfort, convenience. Basically features a 2-stage burner with electric elements to ensure even heating. It consists of a propane furnace with 230-volt electric element that heats a mixture of water and glycol, which is over in the left-hand corner.
Right. So that's this tank here. That's the glycol that he is referring to.
It basically wraps the entire living space. That keeps out drafts, eliminates cold zones. It's silent, even temperature, all around heating inside of the RV.
So you're essentially getting continuous heat from this, whether that's from your hot water. The heating system throughout the coach is vented differently than what you're more familiar with in the other Winnebago line. And we'll take a look at that when we're inside as well in terms of the dedicated ducts for all your heating system that will essentially be continuously rotating heat throughout your coach. So last thing that I don't want to forget while we're back here is the accessory LP connection that Winnebago adds here at the rear of the coach. So that way you've got a nice, easy, quick way to connect, like whether it's all those outside heaters, or if you bring a grill along with you, you've got an easy, convenient place to do that. And of course, with the nice rear storage, you've got good storage space for things like that if you're bringing those along with as well. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap around the rest of the exterior before we head inside.
We had one more question on the Aldi heating system as far as where it comes from on the interior. We will point that out once we get inside. They're actually pretty discreet vents, so it's they're kind of hidden, but we will point that out when we get inside.
Yep. So just a few other things to mention here on the exterior. Of course, we do have the stainless package on this, so you do get the nice little accent panel that runs the length of your coach. Obviously, we talked about the awning, and then of course, just below that, you're going to see the porch, the LED porch lamp. Of course, everything's all LED to be nice and efficient, low in temperature, so it doesn't warm things up. Then you've also got your exterior speaker system, and so that'll tie straight into the stereo system that you have on the interior of your coach, your Jensen system. So you can use that to run the speakers inside of the motorhome or run them out here to the exterior. So that way you've got a nice way to listen to the radio, whatever you'd prefer to, underneath your patio awning.
So one more question on the diesel tank, the capacity and then miles per gallon.
Yep. So the diesel tank that runs your engine is 26.4 gallons, I think, or is it 24.6?
26.
So 26 gallons. And what was the next one?
Miles per gallon.
Miles per gallon. So the Era is estimated right around that 18 to 20 mile per gallon mark is generally what we're hearing back from our guests who are currently using the coach. So that's pretty realistic there in terms of somewhere in that 18 to 20 mark should be about what you average. Of course, that could be plus or minus a few miles per gallon just based on the type of driving conditions that you're in, of course, and how much you have in your coach. All of that comes into play.
And then we one other question that we'll address when we get inside is we didn't show the pass-through storage at the entry going through the shower. The latch for that system actually is inside, so once we get back into the shower here, we can open that up and take a shot probably from both the inside and the outside.
Yep, I did open that back there. Just a different. The latch essentially just looks different based on which side of the door you're on. Last couple of things just to mention before we head inside is, of course, you have the added convenience of a nice screen door. Really great look. You're not having to worry about trying to snap something together, zip something on or off. Just a nice gliding type of action there in order to use that. So that way, again, you can get some nice fresh air inside of your motorhome versus just having the windows. And then, of course, you've got the nice long entry area as well as a nice grab bar when you do enter the coach. So we'll go ahead and head inside. So one of the great things about the 70C is, of course, how spacious it is, which that is all made possible by the fact that you do have this nice slide room. Which, as you can see, they've trimmed that out extremely nicely so that you've got a great aesthetic appeal. A few things different, of course, the slide room. Winnebago has also added some really nice ambient lighting with some accent lights throughout the coach. The interior on this coach is called Tomoko, and so this is a nice glossed cabinetry. I don't know what I just said. So you get a nice elegant feel with that, as well as, of course, the white finish as well. Josh is smirking at me from behind the camera. Anyway, so we'll kind of work our way throughout this. Some great features of the interior on the 70C. Obviously, we've got some really great storage, nice open space, and then, of course, you get the ability to have a full bathroom in the rear of your coach. So a dry bath where your shower is separate versus in most Class Bs where your shower is all a part of where essentially where your stool is. So we'll just cruise on back there and then work our way forward again. Just to kind of take a nice look at the dry bath area. So as you can see, in a compact Class B motorhome, you get a nice spacious bathroom. So some good overhead storage. You have the positive latches here that essentially are the push button latches on all of the compartments and cabinet doors, so that way there's absolutely no chance of those falling open as you travel down the road. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the shower. There you go. So you essentially get a nice full-sized shower here in the rear of the coach. As you can see, we've got the door for the rear storage open right now. So we'll go ahead and just latch that. So that way you can see exactly what the shower looks like. As you can see, you've got a nice residential style shower head. You also have the additional drip rod that's here. So this does just pop right out. So that way when you are using the shower, you've got that additional head clearance. But when it's here, you've got an extra space for drying towels, additional wardrobe space, anything of that nature. Nice little convenience factor to have, but if you prefer not to use it, you can take it out and never have to think about it again. All right. So we'll kind of take a stroll back through. Josh is showing you the fantastic fan. Good point. So what we talked about outside with the Aldi hydronic heating system that's a little bit different in terms of the way that you receive your heat is that you actually have ducts that are dedicated here at the roof line, and then you also have them actually on the floor, which is a little bit harder to see. There's one right behind where Josh is standing as well in the bathroom in terms of where that gets vented from. So as you can see, you've got it on your ceiling as well as on your floor, so that way that air is essentially just constantly circulating so that you get nice fresh air circulating throughout your coach for your heat. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and open up some of the storage space so that you can really see the type of capacity that you have in this coach. So both from shelving storage and then of course the full stack of drawers that's down below. Just an immense amount of storage available throughout this coach. Just like in anything else that Winnebago makes, you've got the residential full-length drawers. So those are on metal ball bearing glides that you can extend them all the way to the rear of, and be able to access the entire space of storage.
Casey, we have a question back in the bathroom. Can we replace the stock toilet with a dry flush toilet? Would it be a big task?
You know, I would imagine that probably is something that could be done. We would essentially end up coordinating that through our parts and service department, and they'd be able to tell us exactly what would be involved in that. I don't believe we've done that yet for any of our current owners of a 70C. But our parts and service department would certainly be able to get us an answer for that. So if that's something that you'd like us to follow up on, go ahead and either call in, email in, and we'll certainly get back to you with that answer with a more definite in terms of price range as to how much that would cost and what would be involved in that. So, anything else right now?
That's it.
All right. So a couple things here in the Galley area that's a little unique for the fact that you're in a Class B. Is of course you have the microwave as well as the convection here in your Galley area. So essentially that's going to do everything that your microwave would do, but then also everything that your oven would do. So that'll bake, brown, and roast. Again, just in terms of additional storage, this is where you'll see we've got some of the accessories of the coach are stored in here right now. But you do have dedicated space for the pedestal table and the pedestal leg as well, which can be used up front. And then of course we've got the accessories for the convection microwave, your sewer hose, those types of things are down there as well, and in addition to the fitted cab carpet. But again, a really nice large space. This does have a hanging rod in it as well, so that if you, good wardrobe storage. Other features in the Galley area, of course you've got banks of storage everywhere, so that's great. Of course you have the jalousie windows that are here, which you can see from the door essentially. But this is a nice large window that you've got good looking area out onto your patio space. And then of course you have your Corian countertops, and then a nice stainless steel bowl sink here in the Galley with the single control faucet, more of a high-rise style. Kind of maximizing that space for you. And then I'll go ahead and flip up your range top. So you actually have 3 gas burners here in your Galley area. Nice residential looking style. You've got the stainless control knobs as well to take care of those burners for you. And as you can see, you've got 3 different sizes. So very familiar in terms of, you know, what you would have at home in terms of being able to customize based on the type of pots that you're using, what you're making, that type of thing. Again, more storage underneath. So you've got a nice space in terms of everyone's always asking, where am I going to put my trash can? So you have nice large storage areas here in your Galley to provide for things like that. And in addition to a nice flip-up countertop extension as well. So you get even more space. On the opposite side, of course, you have your double door Norcold refrigerator. And then just above that is essentially your one-place panel. So Winnebago always wants to centralize your controls so that way they're not sporadically located throughout your coach. So you've got your one-place panel that'll control your generator as well as do all of your tank levels, battery levels, water pump, that type of thing. You run your slide room in and out here. And then you've also got your nice little control panel here in terms of a nice charging center with 4 USB ports as well as 3 110-volt outlets. Just above where Josh is standing now is the air conditioning system. So in terms of things that'll be on the roof of the Era, you of course have your AC system, and then of course your King Jack control is just here. So this is essentially, you've got your digital TV antenna, you've got your digital strength meter, which as you can see where we're at in our building right now, we don't have very good signal. But a really nice change from the old Winegard crank-up style antenna. So this is a fixed mast. So you never have to remember to crank it up, crank it down before you take off. It's literally just a permanent height. So that's no longer a concern. Of course, you have your skylight that's here in your living space as well. So that way you can open this up to get some additional fresh air. But then you also have your option of closing that off at night. But then you also have a bug screen on the opposite side. So that way if you do want to keep that open, just again, another additional way to get fresh air into your coach. Lastly, we'll take a look. Of course, you've got the Jensen LED TV, and then located just down from there is where you'll find controls. You have, of course, your light switches, and then your awning controls. So to take that in and out, and then, of course, the LED awning light, you can easily switch on and off here as well. And then the last item is actually your control panel for that Aldi hydronic heating system that we looked at earlier. So this will essentially take you through all your controls in terms of what type of power source you're using, what levels you want it on, in terms of how hot, because that'll of course help you control the type of energy that, or what type of consumption you're having with that, and then also control your temperature from right here as well for your heat. So a lot of different controls located conveniently in one little control panel.
Question just came in. Interior looks nice. Thank you for that. Are there any other color and pattern selections with the 70C?
Yep. So essentially, your 70C, the interior, you've got one choice. Same thing with the cabinets too, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So really, where your color choices come in are going to be on the exterior.
The 70C actually will only be in the silver.
You can't do the black.
You can't do the black. Winnebago actually will, in order to stock this chassis, they need to have a certain level of inventory, and with their relationship with Mercedes, and in order to get the black, and they just
so essentially, in order to get the option where you have both of the doors to provide for the slide room, Winnebago orders them all in silver.
All in silver. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know.
And same way with the interior and cabinetry and the Tomoko. It's all just one selection. There's hundreds of pieces that go into making those cabinets, and if you had to go to, say, the Aosta or the high gloss Marbella, it unfortunately wouldn't be possible in this setup.
Right. So with this one, you get the nice combination essentially of more of the whitewash cabinets, which again keep it nice and bright in here, and then the high gloss Marbella, which is what's located here in your galley area as well as above the sofa. In terms of cab things, this is all going to be essentially exactly like what you see on the View Navion, as well as fairly similar to what you have on the Via Rayo, except of course that's just built a little bit differently since that's a Class A. So the new item with the change in chassis was of course the controls on the steering wheel. But otherwise everything else is pretty much the same. You've got the infotainment center, which is of course paired with the Rand McNally navigation system that's specifically designed for the RV industry. So that way you can put in all the specifications for your specific coach, and that way that'll navigate you down the roads that work for what you're driving in terms of height clearance, weight clearance on bridges, those types of things. So I think with that, we'll take a quick spin through the 70A before we wrap things up. So keep any questions coming that you've got before we come to an end here. So 70A, another popular floor plan for Winnebago in the Era lineup. And the big feature of this is, of course, that you have the rear twin beds. And then, of course, the option for additional sleeping space up front. So this is the Era that would essentially have a sleeping capacity rated for 3 versus the 70C, which has the fold-out mattress up front that sleeps 2, and the 70X that has the electric sofa in the rear. So I'll have Josh just go ahead and take a spin through this coach. So this on, just for an alternative color choice, this is the Aosta cherry cabinets. We've paired this with the Soho interior. It's a nice neutral color of ultra leather, as well as window valance covers. And then of course the Corian is the other item that's paired with that interior color as well. So in the 70A, you have the twin beds in the rear that can then be made into, it's a flex bed system, where your cushion that's stored here by the refrigerator, this can essentially be slid out and then slid right into where Josh is standing right now in the rear, to make one large sleeping space versus twin beds. And then Josh, if you just want to open up the bathroom there, you can kind of see what the difference is between something that has the dry bath, like what we just looked at in the 70C, versus where this would be considered a wet bath. So as you can see, the toilet is essentially located right in the area of your shower as well. So you've got this curtain. You've got a nice shower curtain that will essentially block off all of the your doors, essentially. And then you just stand right in the same area as your toilet and to shower. Same type of drip rod that you've got there for additional storage space, as well as ability to essentially use it as a drying rack as well. And so as you can see, the shower head is essentially just hooked up right to the faucet in the wet bath style setup. Also, a little difference from the 70C to the 70A is, of course, the refrigerator as well. In this, you're looking at the single-door Dometic versus the two-door. So in this, you do have the ice box instead. Let's see if I can get that open. There we go. So this works as your freezer space, which is also removable. This bottom shelf can be removed so that you can use the entire refrigerator as just dedicated refrigerator space if you prefer to not have a freezer. Otherwise, do we have any other questions?
I just got one in. Why doesn't the 78 come with a screen door? It's a very nice feature.
Sure. Essentially what Winnebago has been working towards is re-engineering and redesigning the front cabinet space. And obviously, screen door is a nice convenience to be able to have. At this point, we've had some customers put on aftermarket screens for the front patio area. But essentially, Winnebago wanted to maximize the storage space that you have. And so that was their primary focus when they designed the 70A. And so you've got really nice galley space here. So in order to add a screen door, it just takes a lot of re-engineering of the space. And so that's why this does not feature a screen door. But on the 70X and 70C would both have side screens, in addition to the rear screen that snaps on, I believe.
Right. Yep.
So, all right. Well, unless there's any other questions, we'll essentially get this wrapped up here in terms of the details of the 70A and 70C. Again, we can do this type of walkthrough on any coach that we have here in stock, so just let us know or let your sales consultant know if there's anything that you'd like to see in more detail. And it looks like Jason's got one more question.
Yeah, we got one on the radio. What is the standard radio in the dash if the infotainment center is not selected?
Sure. So if you do not do the infotainment center, it's a Pioneer brand radio. Still is integrated in with your rear camera, just like what this one is. You just lose some of the function of the infotainment center. So with this one, the big feature of the infotainment is, of course, the addition of the Rand McNally navigation system, which is a nice feature for the RV industry specifically. Is there anything else that you want to add to that?
No.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. You'll have to stay tuned in to what we do our January webcast on. Again, if you've got any questions or if there's anything else that you'd like to see in more detail, let us know. We'd be happy to do that in a future webcast or in an individual personalized walk-around video. But thanks so much for joining us.